All right, guys, welcome back to another video, and this is the road to $1 million a month. Today, we're officially at 3 weeks in since we started aggressively scaling, trying to double my automotive business from 500K a month to $1 million a month. I told you the strategy in the previous video, so I'm going to give you an update, the nitty-gritty details, what we've been up to. I'm going to give you some numbers and all that sort of stuff. For now, we're going to boost Leroy and myself, the cameraman. We're going to cruise in, we're going to hit the gym, we're going to hit a bit of back and buys, talk about the importance of health, looking after yourself, and preserving upstairs so that you can become the person to be able to scale the business and be able to hold on to that stress and nurture it on a day-to-day. All right, guys, let's go. Let's get into the gym. So guys, exciting news. So since we've been running these ads, obviously we're moving a bit of wholesale stuff, but because it's in adjacent towns to where we are, we're actually picking up a bit of on-site work. So that, requires labor and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I got a call last night for a guy, transport guy in Shepparton, about an hour away from here. And he wants a dozen truck tires. And he said, yeah, dude, like everybody's been seeing your ads. We're pretty keen to give you a bit of a crack. Everyone's getting a bit sick of the current supplier in the area, like the main guy there. And so we've got a bit of an opportunity there. So I just got to call one of the boys just to confirm some of the details. Ashy, one of our main guys.
Hello.
Big balls, what's going on?
Oh, a bit, bros. Yeah, should be a good day today.
Yeah, toolbox meeting went well?
Yeah, really good, dude. Jake done, pretty well, I reckon.
Well received by most, bar maybe one, from what I hear.
Yeah, by most, bar one. The other one was just, just turned around and looking into the wind.
Into the abyss. Yeah, well,
yeah. So I think Jake's going to issue him a warning later, speak about that matter, talk about respect. Yeah, go from there and see what obviously he picks up out of that conversation later on. Yeah, but done really well, man. Spoke really good.
Yeah,
spoke really good.
Good. I think we're just going to have some consistency there, and I think might just reinforce the standards again.
Yeah,
dude,
100%.
This job over in Shep, so if we can tie it in with...
Yeah, so Ayrton's going there. I think it's already organised. Ayrton's going there today, so you're going to go to Old Mate first in Shep. On the way back, go to...
yeah, cool. Because ideally, like, happy to go there tomorrow, but it's a public holiday, Anzac Day. So if he requires us, we can do it, but it's going to be, public holiday rates.
Of course, of course, 100%. Nah, sweet. Well, I know. Still on for tomorrow though, just so you're aware. So today and tomorrow. Tomorrow is fuck all, but the two trucks, which is the main concern, don't get back till midnight tonight.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, what we'll do is, so we'll still do the same travel rates that we talked about. With going over to Tat, but I think maybe just split the atom. So we charge half to one mob and half to the other.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Done.
That's pretty reasonable. I think Gold Mate will appreciate that.
I reckon that's pretty fair. Yeah. That's pretty fair. 100%. And then obviously further on down the track, if they're both kind of doing it on Saturdays, it'll probably work out that they'll be speaking to each other going, hey, instead of fucking paying that, let's do it, let's organise it at the same time.
Yep, happy with that.
Alrighty, dude, no dramas.
Sweet, bros. All right, mate, no worries.
I'll speak to ya. See ya.
See you, mate. Bye. Well, that's a wrap, boys. Back and buys done. The training side of biz, I'm a massive advocate for it. Biohacking, looking after yourself, looking after your mental psyche is essential. You will only go as far as the weight that you can carry mentally. Like I'm telling you now, like higher levels, darker devils. It does not get any easier. Even though it's now 10:42, I haven't gone into work. I've woken up, hung out with my daughter, my wife, had a coffee, and we're shooting content. The business is still operating, but there's still so much pressure, so much responsibility. We've got about, I think 20 people across both of our businesses in terms of team management, and they're your responsibility. It is your job to be looking at the numbers, your job to be making sure that leads are coming in and deals are getting done, that the culture is getting nurtured, all of the above. And so it's not, you might not be in the trenches as you scale up, but internally it gets harder. And in my experience, as you can probably tell by the look of me, I did used to be a little bit of a naughty boy with some bad habits. And as I've grown in business and as a man and as a father and all that sort of stuff, the pressure just gets greater. And so you got to make a choice. You got to go, okay, well, am I going to level up or am I going to fold? And so I've sort of forced myself up because I've had to be able to nurture what's on my shoulders. Yeah, I know it sounds woohoo, but like looking after yourself is like needs to be priority one, protecting your energy at all costs. You know, sometimes it could look a bit selfish, and sometimes, you know, outside looking in, you know, I'm sure a couple of my team members probably think, you know, how come the boss isn't here today? But I'm usually working on those higher leverage tasks, and I think it's important to have good leaders in your team that can sort of nurture that culture without you having to be there. So guys, if you're interested in that and leveling up, it's not something that I really offer, but I do have like a biohacking document which I follow myself when I really need to lock in. I follow pretty much 90% of it all the time. So if you want that, just comment something below. Comment, I don't know. What do you reckon, Leroy? Biohack. Yeah, comment biohack below and I'll send you the link to that document. Yeah, guys, if you can get something out of that and it can help you level up, if you're not dealing with stress very well, if you're not showing up energetically, the energy that you need to thrive, then I promise you that document will do wonders if you follow it. Rightio, so we're about to pull up home. We're going to shoot into the office. I'm going to show you Autovector. So if you're unfamiliar, if you haven't been following along for too long on Instagram or whatever, we've been building a software, an AI-powered workshop management tool, which is the first and the only of its kind for the automotive industry. I'm talking about automated quotes with AI, so you don't have to get stuck in the weeds quoting up jobs and stuff like that. You can literally do it automatically. It plugs in with your suppliers, it plugs in with Haynes Pro manuals. It does AI transcriptions of the phone calls that you have and automatically books stuff in, takes notes of what the customer said on the phone. It does all the data entry for you. So when you get a bill from a supplier in your inbox, instead of having to like look at the PDF, type in the invoice number and the supplier manually, which as we all know, takes a lot of time. In the early days, I remember doing it like at 6 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning, Sundays. It does it all automatically. It picks it up from your inbox and automatically puts the data into your software. It's crazy. So I'm going to give you a bit of a demo on that. We're about to stand that up in Alpha Tyres, our business, next month. We're beta testing it essentially and giving like a feedback loop to the developers. And then we're going to be rolling that out with Auto Cartel clients for a 60-day free trial in June, and then taking it to market not long after that. The big launch will probably be in January, and we're going to be hosting events around that. So basically it'll be a 2-day immersive workshop where you come, we onboard you into the software, we do sales training, we set up all of your marketing, landing pages, paid advertising, absolutely everything for you and with you at the same time over a 2-day workshop. That's going to be starting in January. So super exciting. I'll give you a bit of a look at the UI, the interface of the software, and I'm just going to show you some of the tweaks that I've made with our ads and our marketing to try and level up again. And I'll show you how many leads we've got, how much we've spent on ads, all the creatives that we've got in the pipeline, absolutely everything, so you can hopefully get some tips and tricks and even utilize it yourself. What I'll show you will be some high level stuff, so it'll be practical stuff that you can use, and like it'll make you think a little bit higher level when it comes to the marketing side of your business. Let's go. So guys, just picked up this document from a business that we're looking to potentially acquire. It's another smaller mechanical business. This is part of the big game plan with rolling out the $1 million months and eventually, taking over our acquisition model. So I've just got some details here, obviously numbers and just questions we had that were in the financial reports for that business. Hopefully we'll look after these over the weekend, and then we're potentially going to be putting in an offer to that business next week sometime. So we're going to be going for like a vendor finance deal, which is essentially, we come up with agreed evaluation. The founder, owner of that business, he sticks around for, 2 to 3 or 5 years, depending on what sort of deal you can get, because a lot of these smaller businesses are very founder dependent. So getting them to stick around is going to be integral when it comes to trying to maintain that brand and keep that business going. It is going to be a silent acquisition. We're going to keep it that same brand because he has a fantastic reputation, older fella, been going for a very long time. And so we do want to nurture those clients as best as we can. But yeah, ideally we'll be doing potentially a deposit down or potentially no money down, depending on what we can work out. And then we pay off that business over, say, a 3-year period or something like that. So I'll keep you all up to date. I won't give you too many details about that because we're keeping it pretty low level in the community and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll keep you all posted and we'll see how we go. So the first thing I do when I come on the computer is I see my wife's got EDC Vegas up because we're going to see Alex and Layla Hermosi for a 2-day workshop next month, 15th or 16th of May. My wife Jemima was like semi-keen, and then I told her, I didn't tell her. I was like, oh, what's EDC? That's on in Vegas while we're going to be there. And then all of a sudden flights were booked, everything was organized. She's super keen. So we're probably going to go to that, which is on the Sunday. And then I think we've got the workshop with the Hermosis on the Wednesday. We'll see how we go. We'll just take it easy. So yeah, we've got 169 leads, as you can see there, guys. Which is pretty solid considering our ad spend. So it's the wholesale campaign. As I've shared with you guys in the previous video, we did a recruiting campaign. I've just wound that all the way back to $5 a day. Pretty expensive to get a candidate, but I think we ended up with about 20 new recruits or people applied for the Fit of the Partner program, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to nurture these guys as opposed to continuing with the ad spend. We'll keep it going. Just a quick tip. Ideally, you don't want to be, if you need to back off ads, try not to turn them off completely because then I'll have to relearn when you put them back on. So I'm going to just keep that going at a really low ad spend. But as for the wholesale side of stuff, you've probably seen in previous videos as well that when I first set it up, I didn't have this set up correctly and I wasn't tracking with our pixel the opt-ins, and so we missed quite a few of those. So as you can see, we got about 169 leads, and total ad spend so far has been about $2,200. So we've been spending $100 a day. It's about 21 days, so it's pretty accurate. So this is the amount of creatives that I've got in the pipeline at the moment. So we've got 50 different ad creatives at that $100 a day to really keep the cost per lead down. And as you can see, like our average is about $13 a lead. And like that $169 worth of leads that I just showed you before, like that's probably getting close to $400,000 worth of quotes in the pipeline. So far, we've closed from paid advertising, new relationships, new customers, probably around 60K, roughly 60K in sales, 60 or 70,000. And the cool thing about these sort of customers, guys, like with the truck tires and agricultural tires, they're reoccurring. So once you form that relationship and you give a good impression, like ideally we're going to be seeing those same guys, every month, every couple of months, couple times a year. As you can imagine, this is going to compound as long as we can maintain this momentum. So the reason I've got 50 creatives is basically ads fatigue, especially like when you're targeting a very small total addressable market, like especially local business, your ads exhaust very quickly, especially if you're spending like more than $100 a day. So basically it only took us about 2 hours to shoot all these 50 ads. We just came up with like 10 to 15 hook variations, a handful of different body variations and call to actions. And then Leroy here on the camera basically just chopped and changed them all to make multiple different pieces. So I think we got 66 pieces of content. And as you can see, we've got some really cheap leads here. Some have been expensive, $8 here, $8 there, $6, $1.20. And so we'll let that run for about a week with all these creatives, and then I'll probably, wherever we're exhausting ad spend and not getting anything out of it, we'll cut those ads away. Another thing that I'm looking at, so if I go into Go High Level, which is where we like host, it's like one of our CRMs. If we go into this one here and we go into stats, so our average opt-in rate, it should be there, but anyway, I won't go into it. Our average opt-in rate since we started 3 weeks ago is sitting at about 4%, which is sort of anywhere from like 2 to 5% is like standard for this type of business model. And so ideally I want to get it a little bit higher, but at 4, it's still good to be able to clock up the ad spend. But what I've done to see if we can improve it is I've set up a split variation. Okay, so basically it's the same link and the ads are all attached to the same URL, but Go High Level will basically split it 50-50 or depending on how you want to change it. So they'll go to basically 2 separate variations of the same landing page. So the variation that I've got, this is the first one. As you can see with the lead form, there's quite a bit of friction here and people would be hesitant to fill out 9 different questions as opposed to if I go to this one, all I've changed on it, and you don't want to make multiple changes, otherwise you can't figure out like what it is that actually created the change, if it does change. All I've done is just shorten that lead form. So we've only got 4 questions as opposed to 9. So I'm hoping that this just creates less friction so more people want to opt in. There's already been a fair few people that have just called us because we've got our number there, call to get instant pricing. And so I think that could potentially like just get us a few extra leads with a bit of luck. Yeah, guys, opt-in rate, we're trying to improve that a little bit. You don't want to spend too much time here. Like, there's no point reinventing the wheel if it's converting like reasonably. So at 4%, it's not too bad. We can just crank up ad spend. But I'll be honest with you, like the constraint for us at the moment is just like diluting the sales team's focused away from what's at the workshop and our regular leads and customers coming in versus nurturing this funnel. So I've got a VA helping with the triage process, basically just getting quotes and prices together to prepare for the sales team. My wife's jumping in there for quite a bit and I'm just trying to find another salesperson essentially just to focus on this because like we know that this funnel is working really well. I don't want to ramp up the ad spend any more than I am until I've got a full-time salesperson or a casual salesperson, and then I can go, you know what, I've just got somebody dedicated solely to this funnel. Let's fucking spark and ramp it up. And then we can look at maybe, you know, bringing the ad spend up to $200, $300, $400, $500 a day, as long as these metrics are all still stacking up. We've got a good cost per lead, we've got a good close rate, we've got a good opt-in rate, all those metrics that we're looking at all the time. So, and like I said to you guys, these guys are recurring clients. So, you know, we do these deals today and like they could be calling us up in another couple of weeks time. So it'll compound pretty quickly. So I'm still feeling pretty bullish about hitting this $1 million a month in the next 3 to 6 months. It's just going to come down to how quick I can find the right salesperson to inject into the business. The shop is actually definitely gotten a little bit quieter, like with retail, mechanical, that sort of stuff. You know, I think we're sitting at about 300K in sales for the month at the moment. That's including these sales. So we're on track. So yeah, with Easter and the amount of trading days we've had, we're averaging just on 20K in sales a day. And so given the amount of trading days we've got moving forward for the month, you know, we should hit just over that $400,000 for the month, which yeah, isn't really what I was hoping for, but I was half expecting it with everything cooling off with fuel prices and everything like that. But that's why we've got to be aggressive, guys. You know, if I wasn't doing this, where would we have fallen with the amount of team and infrastructure that we've got in place? That's just going to be eating into my bottom line because, you know, I've really tried to prepare for scaling. We've onboarded 2 new people in the last month with Alpha Tires. With our online business, Auto Cartel, we've onboarded 3 new people, you know, VA, another coach, and then a full-time marketing guy. There's lots of moving parts and I need to make sure, like my job is just making sure these leads keep coming in hot. And because we've got the infrastructure and the team to support it now, we just got to keep cooking. So yeah, guys, hope you got some value. Hope you're enjoying the journey. I try to be as transparent as possible. If you've got any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and I'll be trying to drop a YouTube video at least every week, whether it's educational, whether it's a bit more vlog style like this. They're going to be hitting every week from now on basically. So cheers guys, keep crushing it, get after it.